expecting my personal care aide to come through the door any moment now, but I did want to follow up to Saturday's big event. I'll put the link in the description below. So, push, crash, and pacing. With chronic illness, particularly the kinds that I'm dealing with pushing myself to do things, there's usually payback, and that is anytime I expend energy, there's a crash that occurs afterwards. I'll paint a picture for you. 7 to 10 days without a shower, wearing the same clothes, in bed, pile of dirty dishes in the sink, not having groceries in the fridge or not having nutritious food, cat fur clumps all over because I couldn't vacuum. So it was bad. And of course, most of my friends have gone. There have been a few near and dear people that have stuck around, and thank you. That's just a little taste of how bad it got, because I didn't have the friends, I didn't have the support, don't have a boyfriend, husband, partner, anything like that to support in that. And I don't think that should necessarily be the role of a boyfriend, husband, or partner, but it just means that I didn't have anybody that was committed to, to bringing out the best in me. Yeah. I did much better than I thought I would during the event, and the crash wasn't nearly as severe as I thought it would be. Several things come into play with that. I deal with chronic pain, chronic fatigue, muscle weakness, and a pretty serious reaction to synthetic fragrances, chemical fumes, and vapors. All the symptoms fluctuate. So I could have experienced a lull in what would normally be called flares and exacerbations. So I could have just gotten lucky and everything just hit in a lull. So following Saturday's event, I did crash on Sunday and yesterday, Monday. So Sunday, it was slow getting up and moving. Once I got up, I was like, great, I'll put together a video, get that uploaded. By the time the video uploaded, I was crashed. In the past year or so, I finally have a diagnosis that has lent itself to me getting a lot of the supports that I've been in desperate need of for a couple of years. So with a autoimmune neuromuscular disease diagnosis, I now have a mobility aid. So that's a Rollator. It's a walker on wheels with a seat. This helps out a lot. So walking around, it gives me the support that I need. It also gives me the ability to sit and rest, which I also need. And I can use it as a tool in the home for, transferring things. So instead of carrying carrying that pitcher of juice that's, feels really heavy because neuromuscular disease, right? Instead of carrying it over from the fridge to the counter, I just pull it out of the fridge and set it on the Rollator, and then I roll the Rollator over to the counter, and then I can pour the cup and then put it back on the Rollator and roll it back over to the fridge. So less energy expenditure. Rather than standing at the sink to wash dishes, I can sit in the Rollator and wash dishes. So less energy. All these things help with finding my baseline of what can I do, because I was in denial for a long time. I kept pushing myself, always wanting to do more than I could. I come from the, A game, go-getter, that's, the people that I rolled with. I think my PCA is here. So I'm gonna pause this. What are you doing? Hi. Oh, yeah. What are you doing up on the table? Don't be looking away like that. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, mister. What are you doing? Hi. Hi, handsome. Oh, goodness. I know. I should be upset that you're up on the table. I am kind of upset about that, but I get it. Oh. You're just so cute. You're so cute. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Hi. I'm not quite sure where we left off with the push versus crash versus pacing and my baseline. However, my personal care aide focused on laundry today. I was glad for the help. And while my personal care aide was taking care of the laundry, she also helped out with getting like a heavy cast iron skillet out and getting that on the stove. And then while she was dealing with the laundry, I was able to cook myself some breakfast and eat. I aspirated. Sometimes it happens. I guess I was just so excited to have some food this morning. I don't know, I must have inhaled while I was putting food in my mouth. I'm not exactly sure what happened or how it happened. So that was a little nerve-wracking, but I was able to go from a light cough to actual forceful coughing, and forceful coughing is good to expel. So anyhow, there was a little incident with breakfast this morning. Not a big deal, but it could become a big deal. So I just found it amusing, but you know, my aide was a little concerned. She's kind of like, "Are you okay?" And she's like staring at me. I'm like, "I'm good. Coughing is good." You know, me turning blue, me not being able to communicate, me not coughing or making sounds, that's bad. Okay, so I started my day feeling strong. Shortly after breakfast, while my aide was here taking care of the laundry, I had to go lay down on the heating pad for an hour or two, and so push, crash, pacing. So, you know, that's just what it is. It fluctuates. And I had an idea of how the day was going to look. And it was like the symptoms were like, no, you don't. So my aide is also guilty of pushing. And so there was one more load of laundry. I was like, I don't think we've got time for that. And in other words, I don't think you have time to get all of it done and then cleaned up and picked up and have everything finalized to be out the door. She's like, yes, we do. She didn't. So I ended up having to lint brush my clothes and hang them. So I don't have a dryer. So a lot of times when the clothes are, you know, processed, a lot of lint sticks to the clothes. And so that means I got to hold the item up and take a lint brush to it before I hang it to dry. That's a lot of work. So, you know, I started strong and then I started to crash. And so it's a good thing I laid down when I did, because then I had to be up again to try and manage the tail end of the laundry that wasn't going to get done. And, you know, you can't leave like wet clothes just wadded up in a ball and expect that that's going to be okay. So anyhow, it's okay. I was able to do it. It got done. It's just that there were other things that I would have liked to have managed today that I couldn't. So, automobile. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. There's a lot of concerns I have, but basically just to say the inspection's due at the end of the month. I can't drive. I'm hoping someday I will be able to drive again. Now, there's a slim chance that it's the shocks and struts may be good enough to still pass inspection as is, in which case, great. Well, you know, if somebody can drive it, because I can't drive, if somebody can drive it, get it inspected. If it passes, we'll just put it back in the driveway, and when the insurance comes up for renewal, I'll just renew it in a couple of months. And then if it gets to the point where we can ensure that my medical conditions are well controlled and the state agrees with that, then it's a lot easier for me to deal with an existing working car. So it's just a lot to think about, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I know the public transportation in this area isn't great. I was already sick when I moved here, so I don't really have local friends. It's kind of hard to make friends when I'm walking around with a face mask and, you know, a rollator, and I need help to get out and about. So yeah, lots to think about. Lots and lots and lots to think about. So my brain is just like kind of taxed on this. So today would have been a good day to try and coordinate and manage some of putting the logistics together of that. And the best I could do is blah, blah, blah in a video to try and sort my brain out. You know, I've got some goals and like I got seriously derailed. So I'm just trying to find out like what can I accomplish? What's my baseline? So again, it's up and down, and I'm about ready to crash again. So